Do not go to Crybaby Bridge. If you've never heard of Crybaby Bridge, go back and watch part 1. This is the story of me and my friends from Crybaby Bridge. It was late one night and we had gone with my friend and the guy she liked and a few other people. Now, if you live in a small town, you know scary places can be a date spot. At first, when we got there, everything was very normal. We found the bridge. It was old. Now, my friend, let's call her Miranda. Miranda had one goal that night, and it was to kiss her crush. She thought the best course of action was for her to run off in the woods by herself alone. After she ran off into the woods, he ran off to follow her. I promise this story does get scary. Now, the rest of us were just hanging out when all of a sudden we heard a scream. One of the guys had tried to cross Crybaby Bridge to get to the witch's house, and under Crybaby Bridge there was no water, just rocks. He had fallen and gotten really hurt underneath the bridge. We had to take him to the hospital, but nobody could find Miranda or her crush. That's when I went off looking. I started to hear a weird noise. I couldn't quite put my finger on what the noise was, but it seemed to be following me. I started calling out for Miranda. Please come out, Miranda. It's an emergency. Soon she came out of the woods and onto the street I was on. But she wasn't with her crush. Her crush had not found her. As we started to walk back, Miranda heard the noise as well. We still didn't know what it was. When we got back to our friends, her crush was there, safe and sound. But we needed to get to the hospital because the guy was bleeding out of his head. And it wasn't until we were about halfway out of the woods when someone asked if anyone else had heard that weird sound. And that is when it hit us. The weird sound was a baby crying.